So far we have seen that how we can make use of Miro effectively by let me just share my screen here. So how can we effectively make use of Miro software hardware to help you know um, design an embedded system using LabVIEW? And in that spite, we need to know how we can configure the hardware to our requirements and those needs we have seen. And later part we saw how we can basically make use of the Myrios IOs to acquire and generate data. Both of them are possible. Okay, we saw how we can use buttons to get data from the inside. Then also we made use of LEDs to switch on or off as required. Okay, so those were the ones which were able to do. Okay, and those were very effective in the case. Okay, and now we are yet to see about other things like how we can make use of other IOs. Okay, other IOs in the sense right now we are seeing analog and digital. You might be wondering what is the other IO available. Other IO in the sense derived IOs are still present. Okay, so though there are protocols available, protocols are scheduled for next class. Okay, for probably by the next resource person who's going to take, they are going to explain about the protocol-based sensors such as SPI or I2C. I'm not sure what they have planned. Okay, now we are going to see about an extension of digital inputs and outputs. Namely, we'll be seeing about PWM generator. Okay, so PWM generator, I hope everyone knows about it. Okay, it's going to be like a digital potentiometer. Okay, you'll be able to change the duty cycle to generate some signals and generate equivalent to voltages can be generated. Okay, by changing the duty cycle. Okay, pulse width modulation. So basically, you can control applications of that can be used to control the temperature. Okay, linearly you can control temperature, or maybe you can control the speed of the motor. Okay, there are plenty of applications there. Okay, in this case, we are going to see how we are going to control a simple motor. Okay, then we will be seeing about two things: how we can control this motor when a program is deployed inside your Myrio. The thing here is when you deploy the program into your Myrio, you will no longer be able to program anything inside it. Okay, so like it's like Arduino code. Now most of the people will be like, okay, Mr. Rajkumar has been doing the code. He's running the program, and the program is getting executed. Whatever needs to happen is getting happening. But most of the people will be like, okay, how can we really deploy the code inside? Like when we run the program inside, when you run the program of Arduino, okay, the code gets inside the Arduino, so that whenever you switch off or switch on, it's going to run the same program again. We call it a startup program. Okay, so it's not like as easy as running the program and the code inside the Myri will go and sit there. No, it doesn't work that way. So the program, whatever you write, okay, it's like LabVIEW code, and if you want it to be running whenever you switch it on, we need to deploy it as startup. Okay, so we have a separate session specifically to see about how we can set it as startup. But what I am going to focus is when you are deployed a startup, how can we control or monitor your hardware? Okay, so that's what we are still lagging behind. We cannot do that by just opening the VI and trying to monitor it. Okay, because once the program is deployed, the code is stored inside Myrio, and if you want to access, you need to use some sort of communication. Right now, you don't need to do all this communication stuff because when you run the program, what you're doing is you are in fact compiling it, and after the code gets compiled, it gets deployed into your Myrio. And essentially, what happens is, as I told, this code will be running inside Myrio, and what you are seeing here basically is a communication layer. Okay, so whenever you see this value changing, okay, whatever code is running inside the Myrio, that is sending data back to your computer via the USB. Okay, Ethernet port is sending the data. Okay, and you get to see the data here. Okay, when you click the stop button, that data of stop goes to your MyRadio via the USB cable, and the program inside your MyRadio gets stopped. This is happening here automatically, and this will not work when your program is, your program is deployed inside. But how do we then interact with that program when it is deployed inside? So for that only we'll go for some sort of communication. So using the communications, we can communicate it by using your laptop or however it's communicating, or you can use your cell phone with appropriate NI app. NI app is available. Okay, NI's data dashboard is available. Using that, you can connect it to MyRadio and just work with it. So both values seems plausible. Okay, but first, let's see how we can control the motor by using this common way. Then we will go for this remote control by using laptop, and then we'll see how we can control the same thing using your mobile phone. Okay, first we'll look at hardware level. So hardware level is not really a good, big thing. That is, I hope everyone knows that normally students, okay, in order to create a robot, okay, people will make use of, let me show, the simple motor driver board called as L293D. So we are going to use the same L293, and we are going to control a simple motor. Okay, I've attached you can say it's a wheel to know that not only can you control the speed, you can control the direction as well. Okay, so the motor driver is the first thing which we are going to focus more on. Then we'll connect the motor. Okay, again, connections, if you can verify the data sheet, you're going to know more about it. So I'll just make the connection, and we'll see more about how we are going to use software to control the required parameters. So basically this L293D can control two motors. Right now I have only one motor, so I'll just control the one motor. So we have like enable for first direction and second direction. Okay, again, it's not like needed for us to know about this thing, so I'll just make the connection quickly. So enable is basically to control, master control. Okay, without this enable, your motor will not rotate at all. Despite giving the direction command, it's not going to rotate. So we have like 3 DIOs. Okay, enable, I'm going to connect it to DIO 3. There is a reason for that. I'll tell the reason later. Okay, next one is going to be the direction 1. I'm going to connect it to DIO 0. Okay, so when I enable DIO 0, it's going to rotate in the forward direction. And this connection is universal. No matter what software platform you use, whether you use Arduino, whether you use Raspberry Pi, or whether you use anything LabVIEW. Okay, this is going to be you have to use the DIO to control these things. Except for enable you can either switch on or switch off like normally. Okay, or in this case, if your board has a PWM controller, in this case, like just like Arduino has select DIOs can be used as PWM. So similarly here also there is only specific, like if you saw only 8 PWM is available. So we have to be sparingly using it. So enabling DIO 0 will rotate in one direction, DIO 1 will rotate in another direction. Okay, DIO 3 if you switch on or switch off, okay, it will be the master control. But if you apply PWM to it, okay, you can vary the speed of the motor. Okay, and you get to give the power supply to the motor. So typically, depending on the motor, okay, any motor can be used. I mean, power supply. Okay, this is, since it's a small motor, I'm going to use the Myrios 12 volt and 5 volt only. Okay, but basically, like if you're going to control a 12 volt motor, which I have tried it before and works perfectly fine. Okay, I mean if you are supplied 12 volts from a battery, that's equally good. But your motor should be capable of handling that. Okay, since this is like a toy motor which I have, okay, I'm just restricting the voltage to 5 volts. So it's just like going to act like a level shifter. That's it. I mean the signals in from your DIO is going to be 3.3 volts. Okay, that's it. And DIOs are basically low power, okay, meaning it cannot drive any motors. So that's why we are using a level converter here. The L293 is going to act like a level converter. And we are given the ground as well. And now the motor. So I'm using A port. Okay, if you see I have like 2 ports. Okay, it doesn't matter which 2 I connect. So I'm going to make the connection and tighten it up. Okay, I guess that's connected. That's it. So connection is done. Programmatically, let's see what happens. Programmatically, you're just going to give it commands to it. Okay, so like Myrio. You have digital output. Okay, DIO 0 and DIO 1 is for forward and reverse. Okay, port C. I mean, I could use port A and port B, but I require some specialized, male to male connectors or male to female connectors for that. Okay, and the disadvantage of it is it's going to easily come outside. Okay, and as you keep on using this male to female, okay, it just comes outside quite frequently, and it's not very efficient way nor reliable way as well. So terminals are mostly screw type, so it's going to be reliable. So the advantage of using this is you can label what is forward and what is reverse. You can say this is motor control, motor and direction maybe. And you can add one more thing, it automatically asks the next. DIO 0 and DIO 1 for forward and reverse. And for now, I will take one more digital output. I will use DAO3 as master enable. So I can have three buttons. One, master switch. Without enabling this, the other forward reverse won't even work. I'll have two switches, forward, slightly smaller than the master switch. I can copy paste this and make it as reverse. So I run this. Hopefully this should run. But something always goes wrong. Just give me a moment. Okay, so maybe just maybe there's a, I might have missed a ground. So we'll just try it. Okay, probably it's a faulty motor driver. Let me just take one more and I'll be there right back. So I again need to give connection to a different board. Okay, before let me just confirm whether the motor is rotating or not. Okay, motor is fine. If quite possibly there is a chance that this motor is consuming too much power. So yeah, normally it's not like it's a good idea for us to use the 5-volt power supply from the MyDio to power the motor. Okay, quite normally we used to use smaller motors to power it. Okay, so I tried to find another smaller motor, but right now it's not available. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll just try to use an LED. Okay, so instead of using a motor, we'll try to use an LED to power it up. Okay, so just give me a few minutes. I'll try to find LED. Okay, give me a moment. How's that? All right, so okay, I've taken one more smaller motor. So let me just try it once. And if it works, it's good. Or else I'll just substitute it with LED and just show the PWM. We'll try to control the PWM by using both computer as well as number. Okay, so let me just give you the connection once more. Ground to ground. Power supply to power supply. Direction control. Okay, so it seems to be working, but I still haven't given any signals. Okay, sorry. So 4CDL3. Now hopefully it should work. So I run this, I'll see what happens. Okay, motor seems to be running. So let me just show it to you. Okay, so how do I show this in a better way? So, okay, fine. So I stop presenting, I switch on the camera. So I turn on the camera. So right now nothing is running. And I go to my LabVIEW software. My master switch is already on. I switch on the forward. My motor switch now runs forward. I click on the forward reverse. Okay, it resets in reverse. I stop that, and that's going to stop. And forward, reverse, forward, reverse, stop. And master switch is off. If I switch off the master switch and I give any command, my motor is not going to run. Right? This could be done in a better way. Okay, so when I switch on the master switch, my motor is going to switch on the forward, the motor is going to rotate in maximum speed. And if you see, it's not really good for the speed control. It's going to rotate in maximum speed, and maximum speed means it's going to vibrate. Okay, it takes a lot of time to stop as well. Of course, it's in free load. There is no load here. That's why it's rotating maximum direction. But if I have it as a member, okay, it's going to take a lot of time. No, it doesn't load that much, right? So now our objective is reduce the speed of the motor. Okay, so for that reason only, instead of using the master area of true or false, there's a way where you can regulate the speed of the motor, or you can regulate the speed of the temperature of the heater. So typically by making use of a PWM signal. So by varying from 0 to 1, we are going to vary its average potential, right? So in order to do that, there is in Myrio, there is a PWM generator itself is available. So we don't have to develop a logic for this. Okay, typically PWM means you're going to have on time as a different timing, on off time as different timing. Okay, based on the different on and off periods, okay, you can say its average is going to be either less voltage or 0 to 1, and 0% to 100% you can vary the average, right? So here you can see that different pins could be used, and fortunately, the reason why I told enable pin, to be having as DAO3 is because you can have either DAO3 or DAO7 of port C as PWM. Okay, I'm going to set it. And frequency can also be set by using the input. Okay, you can vary up to 40 kilohertz. Okay, up to 40 kilohertz you can vary. Okay, above that, if you keep 60 kilohertz, it won't work. From 40 hertz to 40 kilohertz is your range of PWM. You cannot even go less. Okay, if you want to go less, you have to program using FPGA. Okay, using RT, this is the minimum speed. Okay, for my motor control, I'm just going to go for 100 hertz frequency. That's enough. Okay, I'm going to have frequency as 100 hertz. Duty cycle, on the other hand, I should be able to vary it. You can vary from 0 to 1. You can name it as PWM. And connect it here. I'll save it. I'll run it. Oh, sorry. So basically, there is a PWM generator which is available here. Okay, I thought people are able to see it. So let me just repeat small. Okay, so instead of using it on or off, I typically made use of a PWM generator is available here, out of which you have options inside the PWM generator where you can set both frequency as well as duty cycle. So there is a range of frequency from 40 hertz to 40 kilohertz since it's RT programming. Okay, in FPGA you can go up to 20 megahertz. Okay, so range is variable over there. And duty cycle, you can either set it by using as input here, or you can also set it as a constant. So now that's done. I rest in this program. I'm going to pick the motor in my hand. I put forward. I increase the speed. Yeah, it's running at a very slow speed. I have somewhere in 0.3. It's not very fast, but I can reduce it again. It's running slow. I stop it, it's stopping. I put reverse, it's going to rotate reverse direction. And it does the same thing here. So now let's show me how it's going to work in camera. So I put forward, even though I put forward, okay, it doesn't rotate because I haven't increased the speed. I'm increasing the speed to 0.1, 0.2. The more I increase, more fast it's going to rotate. And I change to reverse, it's going to rotate in reverse direction. So you can control the speed of the motor and direction of the motor like this. Okay. But how would it be to control this not from your Myrio program? This code is running under Myrio and the communication is established by the Myrio code. Okay, now let's say I deploy the code and I want to control it from my laptop anytime I connect it to my Myrio. Okay, this communication is key aspect, right? So in order to do this, we typically go for something called as variables. Okay, so by using variables, we'll create a communication protocol. Okay, typically the backend, the TCP IP will be taking place, but you don't need to work under TCP IP level. Okay, by using this structure, okay, you can establish communication with from your Myrio code to your code running in your laptop. So how do we move about that? So in order to do it, basically we need to first create a library. Okay, so we need to create a library. Now one might ask, what library is this? So I'm not sure if it has been already covered. Okay, to transfer data between your LabVIEW code, okay, we make use of something called as local variable. Okay, in the same code, I mean local variable. I hope everyone knows if you have worked with C or C++. The local variable will be described in the scope. After the out of the scope, it won't work, right? So similarly, in LabVIEW also we have something called local variable, where local variable means you can transfer data from this point to any point, any other point in the code, okay, without using the wire. Okay, and global variable means you will have a file. Okay, using that file, you will transfer data from this VA to another VA. Okay, so from multiple VAs you can transfer data. Two VAs can run parallelly also. Okay, from these two VAs you can transfer data. There's one more thing called a shared variable, okay, where you can transfer data from one computer which has LabVIEW to other computer which has LabVIEW. So it's quite easy and quite helpful for people who are using two computers using LabVIEW. In this case, your computer has LabVIEW, your Myrio has LabVIEW, so you can transfer data from your computer to Myrio or Myrio to computer. So inter-target communication. So typically, your Myrio will not have this front panel. Once you have deployed this code, this will cease to exist. Only the code will be there. So to transfer data from your computer to your Myrio, we will create these variables to communicate. So to create a variable for Myrio, I just right click on the Rio. I right click, I have something called variable. And here you can see. So it's going to ask for what variable should we transfer. We are going to basically transfer forward reverse. Okay. Right now, I don't think it's a good idea to know how to transfer the PWM. Let's keep PWM fairly constant. So name of the variable I have to give forward. I say data type boolean, and that's it. So this will create a library. Inside the library, you'll have variable. You can right click on the library again. You can add one more variable, reverse. And if you want to control speed, yes, it doesn't matter. You can control speed as well. Basically, speed means PWM. And it could be double, it doesn't matter. So as I told, these controls will cease to exist when it becomes a deployed code. You cannot control it. So that's why what we'll do is we'll communicate this data via this shared variable. So I'll right click. I will save this library. I'll save it as untitled library only. I got saved. Now I need to communicate it via this action. Now I just need to forward, drag it, and you can see that data is come over here. Again, I hit reverse, I dragged it, and that also has come over here. PWM, I drag it, that also has come over here. So once you have converted this code to stop, okay, it's going to keep on running. And typically to stop this code, you will create one more variable and pass it, but right now I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have the stop button here. Mostly your MyDay will not have GUI, meaning in order to communicate this data, either you have to use a code which is developed under your computer, or you have to develop the GUI in your cell phone. In your computer means you have to right click on your computer, go to new, VI, and you have to write a code here which will transfer data from here to your mail via the shared variable concept. So in order to, we have saved the library. Okay, now in order to deploy the library over the network, I just have to right click. I have something called deploy all. So when I deploy all, I'll be able to select it. 1 second. Okay. So I give deploy. And mostly it deployed. Now coming to my Labby code. I come here. And here I have to click, create those buttons. Because GUI is only for Windows, okay, not for embedded systems. Okay, of course there are like you can create, you can do what is called as your TFT based displays. Okay, 16 cross 2 displays or not you can use, but again you have to do some work there. But instead, if you connect their MyRio to yourself, MyRio to your computer via Wi-Fi or whatever, okay, you can see that value in your computer itself. Instead of using this TFT display, which will be very small size display, will be there. And here also knob will be used. Okay, and to communicate with this shared variable, okay, since it's not on the same computer, okay, it's in the same network, but it's not in the same computer, we cannot just like that drag this also here. Okay, it won't work most of the time. So rather what you need to do is you need to make it into an API based communication. That is possible by going to data communication. You have something called shared variable. Okay, using the shared variable functions, you can access it. Okay, basically shared variable is like TCP IP based functions only. Okay, but they have developed into API. Develop anything from scratch. So I can browse by creating a shared variable function. And already I deployed my code. Okay, I already deployed my shared variables in the network. So that's why if you see under my VIS Rio, which is connected to the same network, I will be having variables. Deploy. Browse. TSP. VIS Rio. Okay. Okay, not a problem. So by this naming, it will be created. Okay, one is forward, then you'll find reverse and other stuff as well. So I'm just copying. We have to create 3 copies of this. Okay, and here we have to set the reverse. And here you have to set the PWM. So if you see, this code will be running under my computer. Yeah, ideally this untitled will come under here. Okay, but if it doesn't come under, okay, you can just go to current project and you can select it. Okay, this one is reverse, and similarly, you can select the PWM as well. And you have to specify the data type as well. Your computer does not know what data type is being transferred from there. So forward and reverse basically are Boolean, so you just take true or false or whatever. This one is basically, DDL. And you're going to write the values, variable values. So again, 3 copies. Along with that, every time we'll be passing this error information as well. In other programming languages, error handlings are not much concentrated, but since lab is robustly used in industries, error handling is very, very important because, again, hardware connectivity and mostly lab is used in testing. Okay, so you have to have code which does not have error in that itself. So you need to have error handling enabled in every part of the code most of the time. But there are some codes where error is not really required. Some codes which will never produce error. So for that and all, error handling is not required. But most of the time, whenever it deals with hardware, yes, you need to have error handling. And when I mean hardware, not only does it mean the external hardware is required, as I suggested, even if you are using file I/O also is hardware based only writing and reading data from your hard disk. That also covers. So you're going to control forward, reverse, and now. So opening and closing needs to happen only once. But I'm going to put this inside the loop. Since it's computer based, this is PC based, I'm going to have a slightly longer wait function. So I run this, and already a code will be running inside. So I run this as well. So if you see, yeah, this code is running under my computer. Okay, this code is running under my Rio, right? And if you see I will switch off the screen sharing. And if I control from the, if I change the values of control from my computer due to this communication, okay, you're going to see that your motor is going to rotate. Okay, forward means forward, reverse means reverse. The command is being sent from your computer to Myrio, and your Myrio is running the code inside of fetching the data from your computer and executing the I/O operations. Okay, this is how normally your programs will work inside your Rio. Okay, but normally what happens is this code will be deployed inside your Myrio program. Okay, Myrio hardware. Whenever you switch off or switch on, okay, this code will start running. Okay, but that operation will do in next class. Okay, that concept will be shown in the next class. Okay, but how basically the communication takes place is this will be the block diagram of a code, and this will be the front panel of actually which is happening. My computer will show the data. I mean, GUI based representation. The logic will be running inside your Rio. That's how you'll control. And this need not be your computer at all. Okay, it need not be computer at all actually. Okay, so this could be my cell phone also. So let's see how we have to do. Actually, this code need not change at all. In order to run your My Computer program, you have to actually, Myrio program, you have to actually save it to compile. But you need not save this, code is running in your computer at all to run it. That's because it's still in your realm of computer only. But in order for the reason why you need to save your My Computer program is you need to transfer the code to your Myrio. Okay, for that to happen, first you need to save it in your disk. Then from the disk only you'll be able to transfer it. Okay, now this controlling, instead of controlling from my computer to my Myrio, okay, I should be able to do this from my cell phone. Now that's a little bit of challenge. For first, my cell phone and Myrio should be connected together. In order for that to happen, first what I need to do is I need to go to NIMAX, and my cell phone does not have Ethernet connection. In that case, the only way is I need to host from my cell phone hotspot, and I need to make the connection of from my Myrio to my cell phone. So in order to do this Wi-Fi based configuration, I need to open NIMAX. I open NIMAX, I go to remote systems, I select Myrio. And you can see already my Myrio is connected, says create wireless network. Okay, already it has created wireless network and it says, okay, it's broadcasting. Okay, as VAS Myrio. So this I can show by, like you can see that my Myrio LEDs, my Wi-Fi LED is going here. That's because the connection has been, the Wi-Fi has been enabled. So now what I'm doing, so hardware level, software level, you have to see. So I'll switch on my camera. Again, I'll share the screen. Basically, what I did is I opened my NIMAX. I selected my VASDO, and here you can see that the wireless adapter option is there. I just created the wireless network. Now it's just acting like a hotspot. My MIDI is acting like a hotspot, which means I can connect it by using my Wi-Fi. My cell phone, in my cell phone, I can switch on the Wi-Fi and connect it to my VASDO. And that's got connected. Now in my cell phone, there's something called data dashboard. Okay, that's from National Instruments. So I basically have to open it. So let me try it again. Okay, probably you may not be able to see it. That's why what I have decided to do is I will use AnyDesk option. Okay, using AnyDesk, I'll display my cell phone screen. So 626 860 570. Okay, since I connected my radio in that way, when I connect to my radio from my cell phone, okay, internet will not be available anymore to my cell phone. But in order for this interest to work, internet should be available, right? So there is a problem. So for that reason, what I will do is instead of creating a wireless network, I should configure my Rio to connect to an existing network. I just change it to an existing network, connect to a wireless network, and I will just switch on my hotspot, my cell phone hotspot, because when it is in hotspot, I can connect to my internet as well. And I'll search for my cell phone, and I'll set the password. And I'll say save. Hopefully it should get connected. And it is assigned the IP address as well. Right? Right. So now next, since my internet, my Wi-Fi, my cell phone is now available. Okay, I just have to give connect. And it's asking me whether to connect or not. I will say I'm aware of the risk. And my cell phone is available. Okay, I'll come back here. Okay, so this is like your front panel app. Okay, this is called data dashboard, with which you can communicate to your MyDio. Okay, you can send data, or you can receive data as well. Right now, you're going to control your this motor via this app. Okay, on or off. So, but before that, I need to again redeploy my library. And now in my cell phone, I need to configure the switch, right? So I need to configure the switch to access the shared variable, and I need to enter the server number, okay, which is nothing but your IP address here. So 192.168.43.79. Connect. Okay, I'll create a new dashboard and again try again once again. Okay, Boolean, fine. Forward. Okay, while Boolean entries are shown, I thought, okay, where the PWM went. So I can set the control. I can say switch. I can set the share variable, IP address, and IP address this library name. And in that, since it's a Boolean control, okay, I'll be able to only select the Boolean controls. So I'll be having like this forward and reverse buttons. I'll be able to move it where I want. So forward and reverse both are there. Now I need to change the PWM value. Okay, for PWM again I go to control, and there's a slider available which I can make use of. Okay, I can change the settings. Data range is going from 0 to 1. So this also I have to link share variable, IP address, PWM. So this is for speed control and this is for direction control. Okay, so I think still my code inside my area will be still running. Okay, but not to run my code on my cell phone, there is a run button here which I can click. Okay, so if I click on it, it's going to run from true to false or false to true. Now I'll make it forward and increase the speed. Okay, the motor is rotating. Okay, I can control it via my cell phone. So that can be shown by sharing the stop, turn on camera, and basically I can control this motor from my data dashboard here. Okay, so if I switch off, it'll off. Okay, if I put reverse, it'll rotate in reverse. I can increase the speed. If I decrease the speed, it's going to decrease the speed. If I switch off, it's going to switch off. Off means off. All this is possible by using my cell phone. And this my IDEO code, I haven't changed anything. The communication only is changing from my cell phone to laptop or my laptop to cell phone. So this is how we control things remotely by using LabVIEW and MyRio. Rio, typically Rio. But as for the discussion of okay, fine, this is just academic hardware. What about in industry? Some people might ask. So for that, there is a wide range of hardwares are available. Okay, so like if you see here, for the same National Instruments, we have something called as NI Compact Rio. So which the programming is same. Okay, not much different. So the only thing is instead of having fixed IO like this, okay, you're going to have like modular IO. So like if I show my screen, okay, depending on the type of application where it's used, Hello, can you hear me? So yeah, my laptop just shut down out of blue because of overheating. So I think yeah, that's it. Only one thing is remaining was just to rebrief about instead of this Mario. Okay, so if you're going to go for a larger project which involves a lot of signal conditioning like temperature measurement from thermocouple, or you need to control heavy duty motors or something like that, or you want to measure like for battery management system, or directly from grid, if you want to measure high voltage, high current measurements, then you have to go for module based systems. In that case, you need to go for compact dio. So where modular approach can be, depending on the project, you can swap modules and with it. So that's what I was about to show, but it recon. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know. I'm not able to. So if no questions, then I would like to conclude the session. Hello.
तोरसे सर.
So any questions, sir?
I think there is no question, sir.
So in that case, we can conclude the session.
Yes,
I was
sir.
only about to share. Yeah.
Yes. I request all the participants to actually turn on their video so that I can take a screenshot of it. I request all the participants to turn on the camera.
Rajkumar sir, please you also turn on the video.
I request all the participants to turn on their camera.
Okay, Vishwesh sir, you can click the photograph.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.